Every marriage has 3 rings. The engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the bicker ring. We're here to settle the fights that don't matter and have no winner. It's the 3 Rings Podcast with another new argument.
Welcome once again to another episode of the 3 Rings Podcast, another holiday edition episode of the 3 Rings Podcast.
We're just going to sing 20 minutes worth of Christmas carols to you.
No. We are not.
Enjoy.
We're not going to do that.
Yes, we are. This is the 3 Rings Podcast caroling edition.
Okay, bye. Not here for that. Not here for that at all.
And a 1, and a 2, and a...
Welcome to another episode. My name is Phil.
I'm Lauren.
And we are...
not singing Christmas carols for 20 minutes.
Fucking sure. We are married. And this is an entire podcast focusing on us arguing.
Just thinking of, there's these TikToks that go around where it's like, I'm sorry, I've gotten very deep into TikTok these days, but there's like a stand-up comedian that talks about how in every marriage there are 2 people, one person who's very boring and another one who's crazy. Okay. And every time we do one of these weird openings, like, I think of that, like, there's one of us that's boring, and then there's one of us that's crazy.
Well, I can tell you that I am probably the boring one most of the cases. So, you're welcome for that. Crazy. And anyway, welcome to the podcast, an entire podcast about fighting about the things that don't particularly matter in the grand scheme of life. But when you think about it a little bit deeper, they matter a lot.
Yeah. These
are some things that when you think about them and you actually have the conversation or the argument, some of these could make or break relationships.
The trials and tribulations of everyday life.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to the holidays. This is our 3rd Christmas episode in a row now. When it comes to the holidays, that can be a very stressful time for a lot of people, and especially when it comes to relationships. So,
but you know what? One way to ease the stress is?
Not caroling.
No, to watch Christmas movies.
Yes.
And that's what we're here to talk about
I
this week.
can get down with some Christmas movies.
Yeah, I'm considering your aversion to Christmas music, I always have found that kind of surprising, is that you're always down for a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it is very strange.
Yeah.
I feel like mainly because, I don't know, I feel like I'll watch Christmas movies like with you or with family or something like that. So I don't know, it feels better to me. Like watching movies as opposed to listening to Christmas music.
Okay.
You know? So
that's sweet.
I don't know. It's
cute.
A little bit different. But this week we are going to be talking about what the best Christmas movie of all time is. And I mean, I've always had my favorite. You know what my favorite is.
I do.
I know what your favorite is.
Yes.
But I do want to kind of, before we get too deep into it, I do want to throw this one out real quick, just because I know everybody's always chiming in on this, and it comes around every single year. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I don't know if I've ever actually seen Die Hard all the way through, so cool. I don't
We're going to go home and watch Die Hard.
I don't know if I can comment on this one.
Well, for everybody that's listening, I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So we'll move on from there.
Okay.
We'll let everybody else.
All right. Yeah, we'll ask it. We'll throw it up on Instagram, and you can tell us.
Yep. Yeah, you can chime in on
and
that.
if I actually need to watch it.
It's worth watching. You won't like it, but it's... Again,
I won't like it, but it's just an hour and a half of my life that I won't get back.
But it's something that you should watch. There are some movies that I know you're not going to like, just same as I watch movies that I know I'm not going to like, but they're like cult classic movies.
Like what? I've never made you watch a movie.
Like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, but that's an awesome movie.
I think Die Hard is an awesome movie.
But I wouldn't make you watch Breakfast at Tiffany's.
You did.
When? I think I just wanted to watch Breakfast at Tiffany's and you happened to be there.
Okay. It's still a little forceful.
We live together.
Yeah. So if I want to watch Die Hard, I'm going to force you to watch that.
So you're currently forcing me to watch Chappelle's Show?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think out of the two of us, the one who gets forced to watch things way more than the other one would be me. So
It's fair.
maybe let's not complain about Breakfast at Tiffany's.
But I'm just using it as an example.
Okay.
It's a cult classic movie. I'm happy that I have seen it. Did I like it? No.
It is like
So-
I think it gets in trouble now for being racist, but
I mean, a lot of old movies
true.
do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. What did you pick? I know what you picked, so tell us.
Of course. Well, for the best Christmas movie of all time, I picked the 1966 classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
You know
because
I
you
would.
are the Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about you?
I chose Winter Wonderland. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, I know you're bullshitting when you say something like that.
I chose The Year Without a Santa Claus from
Which I knew that. Too.
1974. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew.
We
that one.
spent a lot of time hunting down a DVD copy of this movie, so I'd be a little bit.
So it's actually funny when it comes to that one because we could not find it
No.
anywhere, and at one point we bought a VHS tape of it.
Yeah,
and
thinking we
don't
would
have a VHS
somehow
player.
figure out how to play this VHS tape. I think it was like $1 or
Yeah,
something.
it was super cheap, but we found it, so we bought that, and then
We're
we're
like,
if we can
worst
find
case
the VHS
scenario, we'll
player-
get a VHS player for like.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could still buy VHS players.
probably in like thrift stores or something like
Yeah,
that.
somewhere.
that.
But we were like, worst case scenario.
Yeah, but then we eventually did find it on DVD, and then
And
we did
now I
find
think
it
it's
a
on.
stream.
Yeah.
I think we bought it.
Yeah,
through
yeah,
through
Apple.
like Apple or something like that, just so you could watch it every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, I think we bought The Grinch too. I think we did that too.
We always weirdly watch The Sound of Music
Yeah,
at Christmas too, and then sometimes, and this one makes no sense, but The Phantom of the Opera.
yeah, we have watched that around Christmas a couple of times.
I don't know why.
Gerard Butler,
Yeah.
the Phantom.
He's so freaking good.
he was really good.
It was so good.
weird. Like,
Yeah.
it's the dude for 300.
I mean, the Phantom of the Opera is kind of weird, so it all tracks.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, still awesome. I don't know why we watch it around Christmas, but it's just something we do.
yeah, we're just weird.
Yeah.
Well, I went first last week, so
Okay.
you can go first this week for the best Christmas
so
movie.
number one, the message of The Year Without a Santa Claus is super sweet, and I think even and like this year, it's even more poignant than ever. Number two, the music. It's packed with freaking classics, Christmas classics.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. And number three, the Heat and Snow Misers are iconic. They're the best.
More iconic than The Grinch.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, yeah. I love them.
All right.
Okay, so
Get into it.
number one, the moral of The Year Without a Santa Claus. First of all, Santa gets sick.
Yeah.
And what does Santa do?
Gives up.
No, he quarantines. He does the right thing and he stays the frick home.
Okay.
Number one. And number two, everybody like...
You've already moved on to your second
No.
point. Oh.
Like, I'm saying okay, so this is like part A and B. He stays the frick home, part A. And part B, people step up to help him.
Yeah.
They, like, come through. His family and friends, like, come through for him. They make it happen. Mrs. Claus is like,
a
I
bad
got
bitch.
this. Yeah, she is. She's
Yeah.
a BAMF. Like, she's like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Christmas, got it. On
Got it.
luck.
Sit your ass down.
Yeah, it's fine.
Chris.
Quarantine. Do what you're supposed to do. If masks were a thing, he'd be wearing a mask. She'd be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he does. It's a stay the frick home if you're sick, and let other people help you out,
It's fair.
and shut up. That's
right,
it.
I'll give you that one.
Point number one. Shut
Well
up.
done. Point
Thank
number
you,
one.
thank
Shut
you.
up. Point number two. Fuck you.
Point number three. Go to hell.
Point number four. Merry Christmas. Now I have a
In
machine
case you
gun.
thought
Ho.
that this Christmas episode of our podcast about children's Christmas movies was going to be child friendly, no.
No,
I
none of
regret
these
to inform
episodes
you
are
that it's
child-friendly.
yeah, I regret to inform you that this is not safe for work.
Shout out to any children that stumbled across this.
Sorry, kids. Don't tell your moms that we said bad words. Actually, no, don't. I hate that. Like when people tell kids not to tell their parents something.
Yeah,
tell your parents that we said bad words. If you get in trouble, blame us. Okay. Point number two, the music. It's great. So it's packed with classics. It's got Blue Christmas. It's got Here Comes Santa Claus. It's got Sleigh Ride. Like, the Blue Christmas, like, version of that song, or of that, like, the version of Blue Christmas that's in the movie, too, is so sweet because it's sung by that, like, little girl. And it, like, just, like, right in the heart. Okay. It gives you all the feels. Like, it's all just so cute and sweet and sad. Because she'll have a blue Christmas without Santa Claus.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor little baby.
It's sweet.
Okay.
So, point number 3, and this is the point that matters the most to me.
Yes.
Is that the Heat and Snow Misers are iconic. They are the best part of the movie. They are the best part of all of those Christmas movies. They are, like, insane. They're, like, the felt like little creatures that they are so cool. Like, I love the Heat Misers, like, crazy hair. Their song is the best. They are petty queens, and I'm here for it.
I do enjoy their pettiness.
They are so petty. It's great.
I'm a fan of that.
And then their mom, Mother Nature, has to step in and be like, no.
Yeah. It's like,
the whole movie, too, is kind of like, women got this. You know what I mean? It's like the men can't handle it, so the women step up.
For the 70s.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like, it's kind of great. It's iconic. I love it.
All right.
The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Some decent points, I guess.
Thank you. I was very proud of that first one, man. Tying it all back.
Tying it all back to 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. But I'm here to come with some facts.
All right. Okay.
All right. So I think that the 1966 TV special classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, is the best Christmas movie of all time. Number one, it's classic.
So wait, okay, just to clarify too. So you said the 1970s version.
1966.
1966. So not the Jim Carrey version.
No, I do like the Jim Carrey version a lot.
Okay.
And I also like the new one that Benedict Cumberbatch voiced.
Yeah, the Benedict Cumberbatch one is good.
That one was pretty good.
If I had to rank them, I'd say the original, the Benedict Cumberbatch, and then the Jim Carrey.
I would do original, the Jim Carrey one, and then the Benedict Cumberbatch one. I didn't mind the Jim Carrey one as much. I know you completely dislike it.
It really creeps me out.
Yeah, but I think he did a great job.
It's like the baby Grinch.
Oh yeah,
it's like
the
messed
baby
up.
Yeah, that one's weird. Like the grown-up kid version of him. But yeah,
Blech.
I thought Jim Carrey did a great job with it, though.
Jim Carrey kind of freaks me out, but anyways.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, point number one, it's a classic movie. Point number two, the critical reception when it came out and still today has been extremely positive. And point number three, it's not only an amazing Christmas story, but it's also a very different Christmas story.
Okay.
All right, so point number one, it's a classic movie. So the original release in 1966 has stood the test of time and turned into a classic holiday movie. So the 1960s produced some amazing animated specials during the holidays. Like, I think there were like 3 or 4 like major animated specials that came out in the 60s, and then that led into the 70s with some of the stuff that we were just talking about. But this also included, The Grinch in 1966. So the annual broadcast starting in 1966 lasted until 1987. And then it started moving across different TV networks. And then starting in 2015, you can now only see it on TV 2 times per season. So typically the first weekend in December they'll show it.
Okay.
And then on Christmas night they'll show it.
I wonder why.
It's part of the contract with...
really?
Yeah.
But can you stream it?
So they don't show it too much. I don't know. I'm sure you can at this point, but on network television, it can only be broadcast twice on the network. But there's a good reason for that, because moving into my second point with the reception, it has been ranked number 1 by TV Guide on its 10 best family holiday specials, and also has a 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But it would consistently get number 1 Nielsen TV ratings for persons 18 to 49. So all those numbers, considering that it was released in the peak wave of animated holiday specials and has stood the test of time. It's pretty damn good. But here's another great kicker. You want to talk about the music in something. I mean, think about all the songs that are in, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
I mean, I really only think of the one, which is You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few others that are in there, though. But the soundtrack for How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that original soundtrack, the soundtrack for the special won the Grammy for Best Children's Album in 1968. Beating out Disney's Jungle Book.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
So it won the Grammy. Best Children's Album.
That is big.
It's a pretty big deal.
I'll give you that.
So pretty good critical reception.
I do like the message of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, too.
That's what I'm going to get into right now.
Okay.
What I'm talking about, it's a very different kind of Christmas story, but it's also an amazing Christmas story. So the Grinch is just a very different twist on telling a Christmas tale. So it's not about Santa and him saving Christmas.
Kind of about Santa. He dresses up as Santa.
He dresses up as Santa, but it's not about Santa. He's doing it for the reason of not wanting to get caught stealing Christmas. But, it's more about how one discovers what Christmas is all about.
Yeah.
So it's a great movie to watch and to teach kids that it's not a holiday that's about presents or about consumerism, anything like that. It's about being together. It's about sharing. It's about discovering what's important. So Dr. Seuss knew how to make books and movies that spoke to children in a way that they could understand. It wasn't meant for adults to understand and enjoy. It was meant for kids to understand and enjoy. So you can hate the Grinch you can hate him because, he was like, he's the villain. He wants to steal Christmas and all of that. But at the end, when he has, that epiphany in that moment and, has a complete change of heart, it's like, you can't hate him because of how the story ends. No matter how mean he was, like, when people think about the Grinch, it's always like, they're like, oh, you're being such a Grinch or blah, blah, blah. It's like, the story ends very positive.
Yeah, his heart grows 3 sizes.
And so it's important to know that, everyone deserves to be loved and deserves to be accepted and deserves to spend the day, surrounded by people that, that care about them. So, overall, I mean, it's a different way of telling a Christmas story.
Heart.
There you go.
That was so sweet.
So that's why I think that the 1966 version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas is the best Christmas movie of all time.
It's up there. It's a good one. It's not my favorite, but it's a really good one.
It's number one.
Now I kind of want to go home and watch both of these movies.
So do I.
Make some hot chocolate, sit on the couch, cuddle up.
I'm into this.
Yeah.
I can just start watching Christmas movies now. I'm
okay.
good with that.
All right. Let's do it. Share your favorite Christmas movie and tell us which one you think is better at 3 Rings Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's THREE Rings Pod. Please rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts and share us with your friends. And happy holiday season, everybody.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with
I don't know.
Something. I don't know.
If you have a suggestion for a topic, let us know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do eggnog, good or not.
Not.
Good.
Done.
All right. See you next week. This is a 2-for-1 episode today.
You're welcome. No, it's a 3-for-1. We did Die Hard at the beginning, too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is a packed episode, y'all. Packed episode. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another weekly episode of the 3 Rings Podcast. We'll be back next week with another new argument. In the meantime, follow us on all social media platforms at 3 Rings Pod. Join in the argument and tell us who's right, who's wrong, or why you have the right answer. Whatever. Just tell us stuff.